The round of 16 defeat to Argentina at the 2026 World Cup did not just shatter the ultimate dream of the Egyptian national team, it ignited absolute fury, triggering one of the most explosive post-match meltdowns of the entire tournament. From the head coaches down to the devastated players, every single one of them unleashed raw anger directly at the officiating crew, hurling massive allegations that are shaking the football world, claiming the entire match was rigged so Lionel Messi and Argentina could march on to defend their World Cup crown. These furious statements, made right after the final whistle, are sending shockwaves through global soccer fans right now. Leading the charge with the absolute harshest response was forward Mustafa Djiko, who could not hide his total fury. While speaking to reporters after the intense clash in Atlanta, Georgia on July 7th, the striker, who currently plays for Pyramids Football Club, offered a deep apology to the Egyptian fans for failing to push the squad into the next round, but he insisted that this devastating defeat had absolutely nothing to do with football tactics. The referee was completely out of control and deeply unfair. His bias in favor of them was painfully obvious. We were targeted by him right from the opening whistle. He simply did not want Egypt to win tonight. This whole match was decided long before we stepped out. I wanted so badly to bring joy to our supporters, but I am so sorry that we could not deliver. This devastating failure is not the fault of Egypt. It honestly felt like the game was totally rigged. We were up to 0. Yet the referee kept blowing his whistle against us. So go ahead and congratulate Argentina on another World Cup, because that is clearly the plan here. Not just the players either. Head coach Hassan also completely lost his temper after the match. The Egyptian manager insisted his team did not lose simply because of bad play, but were victims of massive external forces working against them. He even hinted that there are massive powers desperate to keep Lionel Messi in the tournament for as long as possible. We actually played much better than the reigning world champions, but the outcome was shaped by various factors both on and off the pitch. Maybe they just wanted the world champions to keep advancing. Perhaps they just wanted Messi to stay. In football, sometimes there are forces way beyond the actual sport. It honestly feels like the defending champions get massive help at every single level. We actually protested the appointment of this specific referee, but got nowhere. There was zero respect and absolutely no fair play. Take the moment when Mohamed Salah was fouled inside the box and no penalty was given. They did not even check VAR. Everyone saw what happened. Mark Allister clearly pulled our player's shirt, but they completely refused to review it. I simply cannot accept the way this match was run. We were treated incredibly unfairly out there. I walked straight up to him and told him that this whole setup was totally unfair. Maybe he is hiding something behind his decisions. And yet, the truth will always come out. I am not going to watch another single match in this World Cup. On the other hand, their goalkeeper, Motefacib, took a much calmer approach, admitting that Egypt lost their concentration entirely during the final 10 minutes of the match and paid a heavy price for Argentina's ultimate comeback. Even so, he insisted that the squad should be proud because they fought so hard against one of the biggest title favorites in the tournament. Meanwhile, their backup goalkeeper, Mohamed Ella, backed the coaching staff and insisted that Egypt was denied a massive and very clear penalty just moments before Argentina launched the counterattack to score the winner. According to Ella, if VAR and the referee made the right call, the outcome of the match could be totally different now. Amidst the incredibly heavy atmosphere of the dressing room after getting knocked out, Captain Mohamed Salah was the first to speak up and lift everyone's spirits. That is according to Mohamed Ella. The Liverpool star was quick to urge his devastated teammates to quickly put their deep disappointment behind them and look to the future. Salah told us directly that everything is now over, and he advised the team to accept this result, using it as a strong foundation to build on for much bigger goals ahead. While Egypt manager Hassan and several players kept slamming the refereeing decisions, the Egyptian media took a much broader view of things. They expressed their deep regret over the highly controversial referee calls, while also calling it their most successful World Cup in the history of Egyptian football. Aram Online, one of the most prominent and highly respected news outlets in all of Egypt, dedicated several detailed articles to analyzing the match. Interestingly, Instead of focusing on the pain of defeat, Aram chose to share a message of encouragement, publishing a headline that declared, "The team can leave the tournament holding their heads high." According to Aram, very few believed Egypt could even make it past the group stage before the tournament began, but the team led by coach Hassan Hassan repeatedly pulled off one massive shock after another to reach the knockout rounds for the first time ever, leading to their dramatic clash with Argentina. There, they stunned the entire football world by taking a to-goal lead against the defending champions, and only conceded the victory in the final minutes. The paper argued that pushing a legendary squad led by Lionel Messi to the absolute brink of elimination was clear proof of how much Egyptian football has grown, even if the final result was not what they wanted. The players gave an incredible performance that deservedly earned them the utmost respect of football fans at home and across the globe. But alongside all the praise, Al-Aram also admitted Egypt threw away their own advantage. According to the paper's analysis, Hassan Hassan's squad maintained a very tight defensive shape for most of the match and left Argentina almost completely frustrated. But then, fatigue crept in during the final 10 minutes of play, and the defense began to crack, leaving wide open spaces for Lionel Messi and his teammates to exploit. Al-Aram pointed out, Argentina only managed to bring heavy, non-stop pressure in those dying minutes. Messi started dropping deeper to orchestrate the play much more, stretching out the Egyptian defense and carving out precious room for the attackers to operate. This exact tactical shift allowed the defending champions to pull off their stunning comeback. Even so, the newspaper dedicated a lot of coverage to the highly controversial decisions made by the referees. According to Al-Aram, the most debated moment was absolutely that disallowed goal scored by the Egyptian team after VAR spotted an earlier foul in the build-up. Many voices across the Egyptian media argued that this call was far too harsh, since the foul happened quite a long time before the ball actually crossed the line. Another major incident that sparked outrage among local fans was a major collision involving Mohamed Salah inside the Argentina box in the dying minutes. Local outlets insisted that this play absolutely deserved a proper VAR review, but the referee waived play on anyway and the VAR team did not even call for a review. The Egyptian press did not have a single bad word to say about Mohamed Salah. Instead, the captain of the Pharaohs received a wave of high praise for his incredible fighting spirit and leadership on the pitch. Al-Aram praised Salah. Salah put on one of his absolute best performances of this tournament this year, constantly dropping deep to support the defense, getting directly involved in highly dangerous counterattacks, and inspiring his teammates throughout the entire match. Once the match was over, Salah was actually the first one to stand up, motivating his entire team in the locker room, urging the players to accept the painful defeat and use it as motivation for the next tournaments coming up. The mood back home in Egypt was totally different from what many had imagined. According to AP, in the cafes and public spaces of Cairo, thousands of passionate supporters watched the match in an incredibly tense atmosphere after that decisive winning goal from Argentina. Many broke down in tears of regret, but there were surprisingly few boos or harsh criticisms. When the final whistle finally blew, most of the fans still gave a standing ovation to show appreciation to the players. Even President Abdel Fattah himself, President El-Sisi, sent a highly supportive message to the team. He thanked the players for giving everything they had on the pitch, and stating they had brought massive pride to the entire nation. With this historic World Cup run, the most successful in Egypt's history, even though the angry comments from coach Hassan Hassan and his players are sparking a massive wave of controversy right now. This 3-2 loss ends their run of the African side at World Cup 2026. Meanwhile, Lionel Messi and Argentina secure their spot in the quarterfinals after an incredibly emotional comeback win. But the heated debates over the refereeing decisions are highly likely to keep boiling over in the coming days.